After losing some key players to the transfer portal, Cyclone Athletic supporters are looking to build a reason for players to stay in Ames in the form of a giant pot of money. The We Will Collective is a new effort led by a group of Cyclone boosters. This would provide name, image, and likeness opportunities to student athletes so they can make some money during their time at Iowa State. The goal here, of course, is to keep those players out of the transfer portal. Now, this is not associated with the athletic department, not officially. Here to tell us how this would work, we have our sports director, Keith Murphy, with a special guest this afternoon. Please make sense of this, Keith.
We're going to try, Dan, because right now most of us have more questions than answers. So here to help us with that is Connor Green. He's the executive director of the We Will Collective. He's a former football player at Iowa State under Paul Rhodes and Matt Campbell. And now Connor's a law student at Drake. So thank you for coming out here, Connor.
Appreciate you having me, Keith.
In layman's terms, what is a collective?
So these collectives that are popping up, everybody's structuring them differently. And essentially it's a collection of fans and boosters that are trying to find ways to pool name, image, and likeness money for athletes. And with the We Will Collective, we've structured ours as a nonprofit. And our hope and mission here is to maximize name, image, and likeness benefits for the student athletes, but to also have a really charitable donation and cause to it. So all donations made to student athletes will be tied to a charitable act of some sort by them.
So Iowa State is not directly involved. Who manages the money?
That's correct. So we have a board member of 5 people who some people have seen. That'd be Jason Luch, Ryan Harklaw, Josh Rank, George Niang, and Dan McCarney.
I've heard of those guys.
Yes, probably more than me. So then we have me as the executive director, and then we're working with an awesome consultant out in Buffalo, and we have a CPA on board. So we have all hands on deck, all money's accounted for.
So how much will this money be used to try to get players out of the transfer portal or to go after 3, 4, 5-star recruits?
Yeah, honestly, we have no interest in pursuing players in the portal. Our goal here is to retain student athletes at Iowa State. They're the people that put on the jerseys and have taken us to Fiesta Bowls and taken us to Sweet 16s. And those are the things that we love. And to remain competitive is something that we have to do. So it's how do we reward them for what they do for us and just give back.
So you're looking to keep the players already there. You're not looking to use this as a recruiting tool to get people into Iowa State. That's different than some of these collectives that are set up. So just to be clear, you're not getting in any bidding wars.
No, we're not interested in that at all. We want to reward the players to do right for our university and help them do right in the community.
Okay, how much did Tyrese Hunter's departure fuel this or speed it up? Was this already in the works?
Yeah, so this has been something we've been working on since February, January area. I think around that time there was 7 to 8 in existence, and you've really seen in the past 3 to 4 months, I think we've exploded to 48 to now 60-ish. So it's becoming very clear that this is where college sports are going, and this is here to stay, and we don't necessarily have to like it, but we have to evolve with it and do our part.
How did it come to this so fast? I mean, it seems like it happened almost overnight after the Supreme Court decision, and there aren't any rules in place. There aren't any guide rails. So with the We Will Collective, how are you planning to manage this?
Yeah, so I think that, there are some rules in place, and whether we can say that all universities are following them, I don't know. But we've done our research. We are very committed to keeping this done the right way.
Which is what? Charitable?
Yeah,
working through charities?
Yes. So it's not going to be no pay-to-play schemes. We're not interested in that at all. We want to do this right and reward student athletes for their name, image, and likeness. But to have the charitable focus behind it, we think is really, really important because that represents what Iowa State University is about. I think it upholds who we are as Iowans.
Some fans feel tapped out. They're buying tickets, they're buying parking spaces, they're being asked to donate money, and now they're being asked to give to a collective. Some fans are just pretty turned off by this. What would you say to those fans?
Yeah, I think it's something I understand. There's a lot of stressors and pressure right now on athletics and where things are going. But I think first and foremost, if we want to remain competitive, it's an adapt or die mentality. And we don't have to like it, but if we're going to do this, let's do this the right way. Let's uphold what we stand for, and let's show college athletics what this should be about.
People who want more information should do what, Connor?
So they can visit our website at thewewillcollective.com. They can email us at info@wewillcollective.com. Follow us on Twitter, any of that stuff. More than willing to interact with whoever.
You know, there's an Iowa State alum here in the studio. If you want to drop off a business card with Dan Winters, you hit him up for some of that big anchor money.
He must be pretty handsome and intelligent.
Yeah, there you go, Dan. You learn more, and you're going to be hit up for some money on your way out on his way out the door from Connor.
All right, I've learned not to invite you on the 4 o'clock news anymore. Keith, thanks so much. We do have Ed's full forecast. You're going to want to hear it right after this.